Over the last 24 hours, Oregon has experienced unprecedented fire with significant damage and devastating consequences across the entire state. I want to be upfront in saying that we expect to see a great deal of loss, both in structures and in human lives.
And those who live in the Detroit Lake area know all about that. They had to get out very quickly this morning as flames from the Beachy Creek fire grew and moved near towns along Highway 22.
What occurred over the next 2 days was unprecedented. In this terrain, in this fuel type, to have a fire in 2 days go from 500 acres to 132,000 acres in that type of terrain, I can't even speak to the shock that I had, and I've been doing this for 40 years.
We were really lucky. You know, our house came through and so many of our friends and neighbors just lost everything. It was just devastating.
The devastation is still felt by many as everyone is trying to get back on their feet one step at a time.
I'm Roman Gillen, CEO for Consumers Power. We serve 23,000 members in parts of 6 counties throughout Oregon. In the late afternoon and early evening of Labor Day, we began to get some activity in the Santiam Canyon and up in Detroit, Idana, and Marion Forks. So the fires came, they ravaged our system. Yeah, I've seen footage of a video camera, it's black and white, on top of a communication tower on Hall Ridge. You can see embers starting to get thicker and heavier and faster in the camera's view. And by the time it makes its complete revolution, the flames are just everywhere. It's just hard to imagine being in the middle of that type of environment. We knew that we had a lot of work to do. Now, Detroit was decimated. It's shocking. We had, 525 homes or so that we served before the fire. Only a little more than 100 remain today. We knew we had a big job on our hand and we were going to need some help. So we put the word out, and within, I'll say, 2 hours, we had immediate responses. This kind of chokes me up. There was no hesitation on a lot of organizations to come help. There were 4 co-ops that we got help from immediately, and that was Salem Electric, Hood River Electric, Mid-State Electric, and Oregon Trail.
News came to remaining McKenzie residents recently that their power has finally been restored. Lane Electric Company says it's a huge milestone, but there's still so much to be done.
Just sheer determination got up there and got power restored to all of the remaining homes up there. They did not stop until it was done. And this is something that we couldn't have done alone.
And for those that lost their home, Lane Electric is providing temporary power options to help get them by.
So that was less than 10 days after Labor Day. We had mainline power restored in Detroit, Idana, and Marion Forks. I remember seeing these burned up poles and shattered pieces of equipment that were on the ground. But I looked up and I saw a brand spanking new power line. Brand new poles that were as straight as an arrow. The line was sagged just like it was supposed to be. And that all happened virtually overnight. So we're just so appreciative of the work that our brothers in, Baker City and Lapine and Hood River and Salem did for us. And I can't tell you what that meant to me to have that immediate response, no hesitation. And those folks worked as hard as our own folks did.
Everything is a work in progress and will be for the months to come. But in the meantime, a community is giving to each other in whatever way they can to help get by.
And Lane Electric Company says this has been a real effort this year, going back and forth, and their company and many utility companies around Oregon.